global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news for you, and the headline reads, Ohaneze to federal government, herdsmen are pounding Igbos, and we are not cowards. Okay, but before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we do like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button below. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Okay, let's go straight into the news of the day. The Pan-Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, warned the federal government of a looming anarchy in the country if the nuisance of Fulani herdsmen were not checked. In an open letter to the Inspector General of Police, Ohaneze assured herdsmen of declaring war against the Igbos. Ohaneze accused herdsmen of declaring war against the Ndigbo. The letter titled The Road to Anarchy and personally signed by Chief John Nnia, the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide, was made available to journalists in Enugu. Ohaneze pointedly made reference to an incident that recently took place at Umawulu community in Awka South local government area of Anambra State, where the villagers saw 4 Fulani boys openly displaying 6 AK-47 rifles. Nwodo asked Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu to intervene to avert danger, saying that no nation survives 2 civil wars without consequences. The letter also chronicled how Fulani leaders in Anambra State staged a walkout on community leaders and security agencies and dared the people to do their worst during a meeting to address the open display of the firearms by the Fulani herdsmen. Ohaneze said that Ndigbo were law-abiding people but would not fold their hands and watch as killer herdsmen continue to kill, rape, maim, and destroy their farms. It is with a heart full of trepidation and responsibility that Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide brings to your notice a potentially explosive situation in Anambra State of Nigeria. The people of Umawulu community in Awka South local government area of Anambra State saw 4 Fulani boys with 6 AK-47 rifles slung on their shoulders and riding 2 motorcycles trail them to Isiagu community, also in Awka South local government, where they reside. When the news of the brazen wielding of firearms spread across the council's area, as law-abiding citizens, the stakeholders convened a crucial meeting with the police and Fulani leaders in the state and raised the matter for deliberation. The stakeholders told the Fulani leaders in the presence of men of the State Investigation and Intelligence Bureau SIIB Awka that they were alarmed and surprised that their boys were flagrantly displaying arms to the public, unmindful of the legal implication of unlawful possession of firearms. The stakeholders expressed disappointment that the security agencies did not make any attempt to arrest the offending Fulani boys, adding that if it were Igbo boys, they would have been arrested, tortured, and charged to court. But rather than explain what led to the carrying of arms by the boys or even apologize on behalf of the boys, the Fulani leaders told the stakeholders to their faces to do their worst and walked out on them, saying that their boys must always bear arms to protect themselves against religious, ethnic, or tribal attacks from any quarters, and there is nothing anybody can do, the letter reads. Ohaneze stressed that the incident took place in the presence of law enforcement agencies and nothing was done to arrest either the Fulani boys or their leaders for overtly declaring war on the people of Anambra State. The letter further said, the Inspector General of Police, Sir Ohaneze Ndigbo, is alarmed by this wanton act because of the danger it pertains. This raises the following questions. Is the bearing of unlicensed firearms, especially sophisticated ones like AK-47, no longer illegal and therefore punishable in the breach of the law of this country? That's one. Do we now have different laws for different ethnic groups in Nigeria? If it were to be members of IPOB or any other group other than Fulani that bears such illegal arms, what fate would befall them? They would have been proscribed. I'm answering you, okay? The third question he asked was, does the impetus action and utterance of the Fulani leaders not show a clear and definite invitation to anarchy. If anybody in the country, irrespective of tribe, carries such firearms to protect himself, would the security agency be able to contain the mayhem that will ensue? I like that question. The fourth one says, can the IGP imagine what fate that would have befallen any Igbo leader in any part of the north who dared challenge their host and the police with such impunity and callousness? Well, Mr. Inspector General of Police, sir, Ohanaeze Ndigbo believes that there is enough tension in the country already, but it's only a tree that they tell it will be cut down and remains motionless, waiting for the axe. The principle of self-defense is even enshrined in the statutes of the country. Peaceful coexistence is a prerequisite for development. The police are by statute empowered, equipped, and expected to make peace between two warring factions and not to take sides or protect one group. The action of the police in Anambra State is, to say the least, despicable and a tactic invitation to anarchy. Except a coward, nobody will ever run away from his fatherland and leave it for another to occupy. Ndigbo are not cowards. The Apex Igbo group said the behavior of the police probably explained why it was only police commissioners from a particular part of the country that are posted to Igbo land. Ohanaeze said that there's also tends to lay credence to the fears being harbored by Ndigbo that even the military laying siege to Igbo land are there to protect the interests of an ethnic group. Ohanaeze called the name the way it is. It is Fulani now. Not only have Ndigbo been marginalized in this country, they are even being pushed to the brink. It is always said that no country survives a second civil war. Like I always say, Ndigbo are ever capable of defending themselves. They will not fold their arms and allow gun-toting, marauding Fulani herdsmen to continue harassing, raping, maiming, and killing them in their own homes. We are law-abiding, hospitable, and always ready to coexist with others as friends and brothers, but not as foes and not at a supreme price. Enough is enough. Okay, that's what Ohanaeze Ndigbo has said concerning the issue of Fulani Herdsmen. Before now, we actually carried that news of Anambra saga with Fulani confrontation with Fulani Herdsmen. But let's go to our online segment and hear what Nigerians are saying about this. One here says, I will advise you, Elder Nnia Nwodo, that these people you are talking to are deaf. This your doggone to Rashi is too much. Accept the Igbos rise in unity and speak with one voice and quickly, as a matter of expediency, take their case to the United Nations and the European Union, and also lobby some Western countries to their side. The malign brutalization and debasement have just started, and I'd shudder to say the Igbos won't do this. But unfortunately, those dealing with you, the Igbos, know that you people barely walk your talk, but brands. Jesus. And only when pushed to the wall do you rise like thoughtless bull to fight without bothering about the implication. The period for noise making is gone in Nigeria. This is the period for action. So strong. This one here says, why should we keep postponing the worst day for our children? Let it start now. Everybody's screaming for war. This one here says, when Yorubas had already made their stand by forming Amotekun security, Ohanaeze are here speaking grammar. Our governors, the other side, selling their birthrights for money in the name of we will give the presidency come 2023 to fear. We started first, now we are last. What is holding them from forming our own security like Yorubas did? Saboteurs. Nonsense, insolent governors, senators, House of Rep, and Ohanaeze leaders of Igbo land, the most stupid and imbecilic leaders I've ever seen. God will surely judge you people. This one is another one talking about this whole issue of security. This one here says, if you are talking to IGP or Buhari, it will look as if you are afraid of them. Declare Omunigwe and let IPOB take charge of that outfit. Herdsmen will find way to where they have come from, or let the Southeast governors bank helmet in the entire East. Let's take one more and we'll look into this properly. And now another civil war to fight Igbos is cracking on the door through using the herdsmen indirectly to kill Igbos. Igbos should be vigilant to secure their life and property. It is quite obvious that the present leader lacks the wisdom to rule the country. Igbos be watchful so that you will not be taken by surprise and Igbo land will not turn to Sodom and Gomorrah. A word is enough for the wise. So I say it's a pity that while the governors of Southwest have prepared for the headers, their counterparts clan in the Southeast are busy looting the state treasury. Alright, that's how much you can take online. You're feeling the pulse of the people. They're practically saying the same thing. I'm about saying the same thing too. Look, this is not the time to start ranting online. Honestly, this is not the time to start talking. Enough of the talks. The Yorubas they do not talk so much. They talked about state policing before federal government to talk about state policing. Amotekun was up. They had already formed Amotekun. They bought cars, bought ammunition, bought everything. They had to what is going on? Before the Fulani Herdsmen could say, DSS, what is going on? Go and pick them. They say, okay, no problem. Do you want us to legalize it? No, it's a state thing. No, there's nothing like regional police. Okay, no problem. Individual state will endorse it. As we speak, they have legalized Amotekun. Each state in the Southwest now have a legalized arm of Amotekun. Now, it may be states according to the law of the land, but because each state have the uniform name with similar law, it has become a regional outfit, regional security outfit. Whatever, anyhow the government want to run it, these guys are ready. They're following them tactic by tactics. But instead, like one of the respondents rightly said, the Southeasterners are waiting for 2023 presidency. They're even telling their people that it is the rule of law they will face. The people does not matter, but rather the rule of law. It's okay, the rule of law is important. I don't know how Amotekun, the Southwestern did their own, that the rule of law also favored their people. I don't know how they did it, but in the Southeastern part, the rule of law is not, they don't want to go against the rule of law to favor their people. It's okay, I don't have a problem with that. But how did they do it? Because while they're waiting for 2023, and imagine now the country is waiting for actualization of Biafra. By the time 2023 will come, maybe there will not even be an Igbo man to even actualize the Biafra. Maybe by that time the place will be mingled with so many headers and everywhere. Obiano here said he know they are in peace. Anybody who hurt any cow should pay 500,000. So why can you ban a cow? Why can you ban cow meat when it is allowed that you are all living in coexisting in peace? You don't need it. While they're all busy now, as we're speaking, these guys are ready. I'm talking about Amotekun. They are ready to move. They're still shouting Obunigwe, no Obunigwe. They're shouting will not fold their arms. Who are you telling? Are you telling the youth that are looking up to you to form a security outfit? They're ready to be installed. Are you talking to youth who have not been trained over the issue of securing lives and property? All they know is the little crude way of doing things. Are you talking to the youth who barely have an idea of how this thing works? So you to form a security outfit and equip them properly with all the necessary equipment and give them possible training. You are using your mouth. The Fulani Herdsmen you're talking about, they have a training camp scattered all over the country where they're training their boys every day. Which one do you have? You think this whole thing is all about running mouth? Southwest are ready. They're still doing more in Nigeria, but they are ready. No surprises anywhere. Just fairly recently, just yesterday, fairly recently, the issue of state. Just fairly recently, we now have a fraction in Imo State where we have Inhedu fraction and Hope Uzodima's fraction. That's a divided house already. And Hope Uzodima people have this strong feeling that is a caliphate imposed person, which means there's nothing that will really happen in Imo State that he will not get. He's not already a mole that will be getting fillers out there. So you just begin to see that the house is already divided by itself. Except there will be a technical way of them, and if you decide to even develop an outfit, I'm talking about maybe a security outfit within the people there, they say, okay, let us develop one, let's ignore our leaders. They will prescribe that outfit, they will call it a terrorist group, and they will probably use the security of Nigeria to fight that particular outfit. Have you now seen that? Well, let's leave it there. What do you think? What do you think about this whole thing? Obinigwe, Ohaneze shouting that Igbos are not coward, and yet there is no security outfit to protect them, while other sections, other regions have started recruiting. They've gone for recruitment and all that. They are yet to even form one. In fact, they are still under constitution, whether it is legal or not. Let's go to our comment section. Let's hear what I want to share.